How's it going? My name's Nate. This is my YouTube channel I'm starting up. We're going to call it Bourbon Overland. And this is my Overland trailer that I built. Let's do a little tour of it and we'll go from there. Alright, so I guess first thing we'll start talking about is basically the chassis and how I built it. Basically this frame right here was an old camper trailer that was stripped down and used as a float for a while, and I saw it sitting in my neighbor's backyard and wanted it, and so I took it. And it was 12 feet long. I cut down to 8 feet long and cut off. There were some brackets on the side to help support the frame of the camper. That cut off and cut it down to size, and then built the actual frame itself. It's built with 2-inch by 2-inch square tubing all around, and the body and is all butt welded. The doors are built with 1-inch by 1-inch square tubing. And let's open up some doors and check it out. So I built it so that when the doors are open, they will latch and stay open, so the wind will not blow them around when you're camping. Right here we have the kitchen area with a sink. The bucket goes right there, and as you can see, we had a soap leaking incident. But we have the sink here. We have a toolbox with utensils and cooking supplies and everything you need. Underneath here we have a cutting board, all the cooking and cleaning supplies and cups and bowls we store under there. So everything that we use while camping is stored underneath there or inside this toolbox for use. You can see we have all our utensils and spices and bags, foil. So that's all the usual stuff we use for cooking. We have a sink here. It's not turned on right now, but we have it all powered up so that it will have water, and we actually have 42 gallons of water on board. Alright, in the back here I have 4 Wavian 5-gallon gas cans, and I built the frame and everything for it, the spare tire mount on the back here, and we have it square. It will lock in, and it's latched in here. You just have to pull it open. And again, I built this to where there's a latch on the hinge to where the tire carrier will stay off to the side and out of the way. In the back compartment here, we have 2 cooler slides that I custom built, and I have this shelf here, and we fit the tables on top of the shelf. Let me get this. So with the slides, I just put the screws in so they stay in place while we're traveling. So they slide out, and then you can access the contents of your cooler, which obviously is nothing. And just slide it back in, and for the most part they pretty much just stay in when we're camping. We can close this anytime you want. There's enough room up here for storage. I got a shovel and my fishing pole up here. I'm probably going to do a different setup for the fishing pole so that it's out of the way and not getting damaged. So that's the back compartment there. Eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a refrigerator in the back that's hooked up to the battery system that I have on the trailer. Up here we got a roof rack, and it's just carrying a couple of totes. One has the life jackets for our kayak, and this tote is for all the jacks. These jacks here that I put on all 4 corners to level and raise the system when we're camping. And I just store them in here while we're driving so that it's easy to get to. And this closes just by pulling the lock and swinging it shut. And we just have this secondary latch just to make sure it stays shut as we're driving. Got a couple of D-rings on the back here so that if there is a situation where I have to get pulled out, at least I have access to where someone can pull the trailer out as well. Come around the side here, got another side compartment. This is kind of just an overall storage. Got the BB gun for the kids and just the stereo for when we're at camp, listening to music, tackle box, you know, overflow stuff. But right here we have, this is our my kids call it the base command unit. And we have voltage. And we also got the lights here for one is on each side to kind of do a flood area for the campsite. And I got two more spot floodlights on the rack here that help shine down on the cooking area when we're cooking. I got a gauge here for our water tank. And right now it's pretty full, almost full. And it's just, that way we can maintain and make sure we're not empty, especially when we're on long campouts. And then, right here is where we fill up the tanks with water. And it just pulls out. It's a marine style, so it's for a boat, it's heavy duty, and it's real nice. And if you look down here, you can see there's the tube goes in and that's all running down to go down into the tanks. Alright, this compartment here, this is storage. Again, this door did the same thing to where when it's open, it latches so that it's not flopping and smacking everything in the wind. And we got our storage here. I put these rubber mats down to help protect the flooring so that things aren't scratching and damaging. We're just causing rust and issues. Alright, and up here up front we got the battery control box. Now we have this is a quick disconnect, so we can just shut off the system. If there's any issues, we can just come up here and shut it off without having to reach inside the battery box to shut it off. That just turns off the power to the whole trailer. And we have here, this is our solar charge controller. We have a fuse box, we have a circuit breaker. Here's our relay box, and we have dual deep cycle batteries. And we got storage here for just all the straps we use for strapping everything down. And we got an inverter that we could hook up to the batteries if we need to pump up any air mattresses or power anything else. On the side over here we have an Anderson connector, and this is where the solar panel will plug in. Just slides in, plugs in, and it charges up the batteries and does an amazing job at that as well. Alright, and with our propane system, we got a 11 pound propane tank, and I have it to where it's bolted on to the actual battery box. Is nice and sturdy, so it's not going anywhere. And this will latch up. There we go. And I got the hose run down the side, run down the bottom, and over here, running into our grill. Now with the grill, this is a Camp Chef 2-burner grill. And what I did is I cut the legs down and I made a frame to mount it onto, and got a couple of slides with locking handles, so it actually locks when it's fully extended. And I have the propane hose ran into here, so all I have to do is just go turn the hose on to turn the propane on. I have it bolted down into the frame. As you can see, there's a 2x3 that runs across the bottom of in the middle to support any weight that it is bolted to. Alright, this is my solar panel that we use to charge up the batteries whenever we're at a campsite, especially when we have the lights on and eventually the refrigerator and the sink running. It does use battery voltage, but this solar panel does a great job at keeping it charged up. I actually got this solar panel from my neighbors. They run estate sales, and I got it from them for 80 bucks. And I just had to do some repairs to get it to function better. Here's the old solar panel charge controller, which I got rid of because it was not operating properly. And then I just installed this cable here. There's the other end of the Anderson connector. And then when we want to set it up, all we have to do is just put the legs out, and it sits up just like that. And I just have to run this cable over to the other connector here, pull the protective cover off, make sure I got plugged in, there we go. And we'll watch here, make sure it's turned on. It is on, and we will wait and see if it starts charging. It is charging, 3.5 amps going into the batteries right now, and if you can slowly see, it's starting to raise up a little bit. I have tested the voltage output of the solar panels, and it does put out 20 volts, and so I know that the solar panels are working great. I've got it to where the batteries, when we're sitting at camp, will be sitting anywhere between 13.8 volts. So system works great, maintains the batteries wonderfully, and I also have it to where the truck is wired up to where there's 12 volts going into the battery, so when we're driving, it also trickle charges the batteries as we drive. Alright, now we are underneath the trailer. Alright, so what we got here is the axles that we have set up. This is a Timberin off-road axle. It is rated at 5,000 pounds, and I also have the electronic brakes that are hooked up to the brake controller on my truck. And as you can see, there is a lot of clearance under here, a lot of room. They are welded and bolted into the frame of the chassis, and I add these supports to strengthen. This is to strengthen it, and as you can see, here is our water tanks. They are on a frame that will unbolt and be able to be dropped down. I have a 1/8 inch thick plate on the bottom of the water tanks to protect them from any rocks if I go over them. And as you see, they are hooked up. They're two 21-gallon tanks equaling up to 42 gallons. We have the outlet here that runs up into the pump, and here's the vents. We have the vents hooked up so we have proper operation, and this is a transfer from this tank to this tank. The tanks work amazing. The water system works amazing. This whole suspension is great. I also undercoated the whole undercarriage with Raptor liner to protect it from rust and corrosion, and it turned out beautifully. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about, we have the 23-0 62 walkabout tent, the rooftop tent. I just picked it up used from a guy up down in Tucson, and I also got the awning for the annex as well that goes with it. I will do a video later on talking about the tent and actually do a review of the tent and my thoughts and my impressions of it. It does have the LST technology, the light suppression technology, so that when you're in the tent and it's daytime like right now, it is pitch black in the tent, and it is awesome. So I'll do a video on that later on, and probably pull everything out and do more of a video on just the gear that we have, so you know that I like to take when we go camping. Now obviously it's not a perfect build, but it's rugged, it's stout, and it's been great for our needs. Probably eventually I'm going to do a Raptor lining coat on the exterior to help protect it. There are some rust spots from the last time I went camping, got a little rained on. But other than that, this is the trailer. It is amazing, we love it, and it is pulled by my big huge Suburban that we have that I got more videos on that we're going to do about that. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, do all that, support me, and we'll get this going, and I'll probably do a lot more videos on fabrication and things I'm going to do. I'm going to do bumpers on the truck. I'm going to extend the rack here to make it wider so we can add more gear on the top. I'm going to build a drawer system on the other side for our cooking and storage needs, and probably a drawer system on this side for more storage needs, just so we don't have to eliminate all the totes and we can have everything just in the trailer and ready to go. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.